Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 433. My name is Mel Popeye Moss.
Mel O.G. Robbins.
Is my co-host, and we are here each and every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And yes, we're going to be talking about the news of the day, the week, the month, and whatever else pops into our minds. And OG, are you ready to get into it? Have you got any biker stuff? Oh, wait a minute. Let me explain that video. That video, which for the life of me, when I go to set the GoPro 9, I've got a new GoPro 9 that I have not mastered yet. And for some reason, I get videos that are like the Keystone Cops, as you saw. It's going fast as hell, and I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong in the settings that makes it do that. So I'm going to have to go see a pro somewhere to get him to tell me what the hell am I doing wrong.
It makes it entertaining.
It does make it entertaining. It's pretty funny at times. But the other day, last weekend, we decided, some of us in our club decided to go down to the stockyards, and it turned out to be 73 degrees that day, and it was fun. We had a great time intermingling with the public, taking a survey of how many people were wearing a mask and how many people weren't wearing a mask and how many people were doubling up. And you know how many I saw that were wearing two masks?
Only Biden voters?
0.
Well, in that case, there would have been a lot more.
0, everybody, is what we saw. And, probably about maybe 40% had on masks, if that much. Everybody else was having a good time. A good time. And the rodeo was in town, and, that makes it, there's a lot of babes around. Oh, yeah. And that's the stockyards, baby. The stockyards.
Stockyards are always entertaining.
That's right. That's right. So, man, it was a good time for everybody. And, those things could just happen. You can't plan them. They just happen. And those are the best times, when they just happen. But, man, OG, ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of biker news we have to report. We don't have bill numbers yet, or at least I haven't seen them pop up. Have you?
No, I've only seen a couple. Mm-hmm. There was that link I sent you where one of the representatives has submitted a House bill for Texas to secede.
Yeah.
So there's a couple floating around out there. We have been promised House bills on all of our biker stuff. So that hasn't come out yet, but we were promised it would be soon.
Okay. Now, let's discuss some issues that we're having. We're being attacked by some, we feel, maybe it's a scam. We don't know. Someone has contacted us, a group out of Canada, about some copyright issues. And let me say this to the AP and Reuters. Let me say this to them. If you don't want your pictures to be used, or your videos or whatever to be used by others on the internet, don't post them there. And especially don't post them there without a trademark stamp on the picture, a copyright on the picture. Because many of those pictures that they got after us which is not that many, we're talking 4 or 5, that have been up for years, and nobody has said a word. But now we've got some people out there that, here they are, they're coming at us. And, I promptly told them to just stuff it.
Yep.
Maybe not in those kind words. But, hey, if you don't want it used, if you don't want it being made into a meme, which we did not, and there is the what is it, the Freedom of Information Act, where we can, let me tell you this, we are a nonprofit. In all the years we've been doing this, we've never made a dime. We've never gone, we've covered our expenses at times. But most of the time, we're reaching into our pockets, not the club pockets, our pockets, to make this show happen, to buy the equipment that it takes to make a good program. Because over the years that I've been doing this with you now, what, almost 8 years?
Right at 8 years.
And I was doing it 6 years before that. In this studio that we built with our own money, in this studio, we have years worth of electronic equipment. And as things go along, the things have gotten better, and it doesn't take as much in the way of equipment, because the software has gotten better, and the ability to do things because the internet has gotten better, and especially these programs, platforms like YouTube. If they weren't going off the cliff with censorship. But that's another story. We do all of this ourselves. We don't make a dime off of their pictures. Again, if you don't want it being used, don't put it on the internet, because there is music out there, there are pictures out there, there's all kinds of crap that is skirted around over copyright issues, and meanwhile the entities themselves put their stuff out there on the internet at no charge to people. So I don't get it. I don't get it. There are ways to make money and still give the people access. There really is. And we see that now, OG, with everybody and his brothers now creating a podcast.
Come one, come all.
And some of them are really good, and some of them are really bad. And and they have the ability to put a full-blown studio behind them. It's all fake, and it's done with green screens and everything. But you know what? That's cool. They put on a suit. They do their thing. And, and they report the news as they see it. And many of them are telling the truth about what they're seeing.
That's true, but you know what? With all the speculation before the election and all of the theories that were thrown out there, and if you've watched it through time, it used to be, if you wanted to hear the real deal, go listen to the blogs.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone really tried hard to come out with the facts. But it seems to have taken a turn to where there's a hell of a lot of conspiracy theory going on now, where people will say this is going to happen or something big's going to happen pretty soon, this, that, and the other, and then you're seeing them all retrench and recycle their statements. And I would really, really like to see this kind of gravitate back to, let's get to some hardcore facts here, enough of the pie in the sky. I mean, it's great to think the military's going to go in and arrest a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
Crap like that, because it makes you feel good.
It does.
It makes you feel good that maybe you'll see some ropes slung over some trees and some politicians hanging around, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rather know what the hell's really going on here and try and prepare myself for the reality of it all.
Yeah.
So, you know, at this point, the lunatic has been going nuts with executive orders.
You mean President Potato Head?
Yeah, Potato Head and the Hoe have been going nuts, signing all kinds of executive orders, and we haven't heard from Trump in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So go figure what the hell's going on. Make what you want to out of it. But like you and I were talking about earlier, I think it's good that this guy is showing himself, Mr. Potato Head, is showing himself for what he really is right up front. He, in my estimation, will be one of the most hated people in the history of this country as our president.
You know, OG.
And he's brought the rest of the scum with him like Kerry.
Yeah. You know, OG, I said, they are going to be in such a hurry to implement all this mess, and they're going to screw things up so fast. Fast and furious is what they're going to be. They're going to screw it up so fast, you know, everybody's going to recognize what's going on. Even the people on the left are eventually going to get pissed off. I mean, already gas prices are rising.
Watching it happen as I drove over.
That's right. And as he killed, and like I said before, this is going to be a job-killing machine. And we haven't even seen but the first, 2 weeks of it?
Yeah, 2 weeks. And they're already screaming. I mean, they're putting the throttle to the metal on this federal minimum wage thing, too.
Yeah.
They are pushing like hell to get that $15 wage into place. And everyone's screaming that there's going to be thousands of jobs lost.
There's going to be thousands, and you know this is what they're trying to do. Hey, look, everybody, the system, and I'm talking about government, the markets, the banking system, big tech, and of course, voting. I'm trying to avoid the algorithms, but you know, it's just if we get kicked off, we get kicked off.
Let me pause you for a second.
Yeah.
We're 15 minutes in.
Uh-oh.
We have a message for our friends. Take note. The duck flies at midnight. I'll repeat that. The duck flies at midnight. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I'm trying to avoid the algorithms. And oh, gee, I was studying algorithms today. And you know, they can read lips.
Oh, hell yeah. You plug that in with some righteous artificial intelligence software, and it's your worst nightmare come true.
Yeah, you know, it's like the other day when I held up this to the camera, you know, they can read that. So we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. Is what I'm saying, everybody. Good Lord. Good Lord. But you know, on this channel, although we're bikers, we are a political group. And for anybody that's new, we are, our mission is the Constitution and defending those that had their constitutional rights violated. And we're watching real close, these people that had been arrested for maybe just entering the Capitol building and, got caught up in that. And, we know who the culprits were of that. But, we want to make sure that they don't get persecuted while others walk, if you know what I mean. Because we've seen people walk again and again and again. And matter of fact is, the guy that was just convicted of the FISA warrants and stuff, of lying and that stuff, he got probation. So once again, we see them walk and walk and walk. With either walk completely away from it or get light sentences, is what we're saying. It is messed up out there. It is messed up. And the whole system is rigged.
Well, interesting you should say that he got probation.
Yeah.
I would love to see the matrix, because we're talking about a federal crime.
Yes.
We're not talking about county or state or city ordinances, crap like that. We're talking federal. Whenever you talk about a federal offense, there's a thing called a minimum sentencing guideline. And that was established, I believe, by Richard Nixon, if I remember right. And it's got to be extremely, I mean, in my mind, the only way, now judges are supposed to be hamstrung by that sentencing matrix. The only way they're supposed to be able to deviate from that is if the U.S. attorney issues what they call a 5K. That gives the judge latitude if he wants to take it. So the Department of Justice, along with the judge, is involved. I mean, they're complicit in this. So
yeah.
Here we go again with a corrupt Department of Justice, a screwed up judicial system. It just goes on and on and on.
OG, the whole system as it stands right now is designed to protect the rich, the well-connected, big government politicians. And, every bit of it, OG, I do believe is centered around money, greed, and power is what it's centered around.
Absolutely.
And now we can add a new element to it. When you bring in foreign governments into the inner circle. What I'm saying, everybody, hey, if any of that mess that we keep talking about, any of the people that are saying, hey, something big is going to happen, we've seen enough. We've seen enough. Enough has been exposed, is what I'm saying. Who's stepping up? Who's stepping up to defend the people against a rogue potato head?
Yeah, and you
it's
gotta,
just signing one paper after the other.
Yeah, you got to figure it's the whole frickin' government.
Yeah,
the Pentagon. I was reading in Newsmax. The Pentagon has already dumped all of the Trump advisors that were appointed in the Pentagon. So
that's bad news, everybody.
If we're hoping for the military to move in and start arresting people. You can forget that one. Obama totally screwed up our military in his 8 years when he got rid of all those good officers.
Well, wait till they start whacking away at that.
Oh, man.
You know, the generals and the commanders within the military need wars, or they feel they need wars to make rank, to move up the chain, to get noticed. But instead, you know, maybe they just should worry about doing a good job, a great job, and defending the Constitution like they took an oath to do. Because the Constitution is in great peril. It's under attack. It's under attack by a government. Within and without. Would that be right? Anyway. Hey, man. It's like I said, you know, hey, if we get thrown off this channel, we just get thrown off again, and, you know, we'll be over at Rumble. It's where we'll be. But what we're doing is telling the truth, and we're telling the truth about what we're seeing out there. Because the potato head is signing one executive order after the other, and most of them, I don't think he has a clue of what he's signing. Just my opinion. And this, OG, there ain't none of this about the redistribution of wealth to the people. There's none of it about that. It's about redistribution of money schemes back to their pockets. Money schemes back to their pockets. Somebody sent a seminar video of a guy that was talking about how the Congress makes money. Now, I'll post a link to that tomorrow at Sons of Liberty Writers MC. It's interesting, but the one thing I thought about that, it was kind of dated, because he kept talking about things that had happened in 2011, where, you know, that period of time, Obama, that
Right.
kind of stuff. And I thought that was kind of dated. But he was busy telling how they made money off the lobbyists, and how they made money off of bills that have to be renewed. In other words, they're not permanent. They have to come back and renew them again and again and again. And each time they have to run campaigns to do this, and they make money. They brought up the fact that one politician got 40% of the donations that came in from a campaign to push that bill. So they do the bills over and over and over again. But I will tell you right now, what he was talking about is a tiny percentage of what they're doing today. And, OD, you got any comments about what happened the other day when they stopped trading on GameStop, and what the Reddit guys did to the big hedge fund guys?
Excuse me. Let me apologize up front. My allergies are just going crazy.
Hey, we got sunny days and mild temperatures, and the pollen is just out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you, everyone's reeling, and the hedge funds have lost a couple $2 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got a couple of trading outfits like Robinhood, Ameritrade, that I think to some degree are complicit. The issue becomes, The SEC seems to be sitting on its ass and not doing anything.
You got that right.
Okay.
There.
There's some funkery going on here that is mystifying everyone. There are a few of the poorer class that have raked in the money. They got lucky.
Yeah.
They got lucky. My word to everyone out there is be damned careful in a volatile market like this.
Yeah.
If they start calling in margins and you've hung it out there, they can clean you out in a hot second.
Buying on the margin is dangerous, guys.
I'd be damned careful. My son got involved a little bit. He claims he made a few $1,000 on GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
He got the word as to what was going on, and he's no dummy. He figured there was a finite time limit. He got in and he got out. And at this point, trust me, they've got enough control over what's going on now. You'll get hurt if you try and play the game.
Yeah.
Unless you're an elephant.
Yeah, in case you don't understand shorting stocks, it's when the company or entity like a hedge fund is betting that the stock is going to go down. But there are things they can do that drive it down. One is getting on these stupid television shows and having some fat cat get on there and talk it down. And
Correct.
then there's the hedge funds getting together and buying short.
Right.
And driving it down. Now, what does this do to GameStop?
GameStop seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks to the Reddit guys.
right. They seem to be doing okay. And other companies like BlackBerry, they're doing okay. What really happened there was they spiked up, and they've gone down, and now they're coming back up. And what you really want to be careful of now is they're starting to talk about silver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Short and silver.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
Now-
the banks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is. If the highest price I ever saw silver go up to, and I was still living in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the reason the price went up to $40 an ounce was there was a guy running for governor, and this was a real expose on what happened. This guy sent a silver 1 ounce Troy. It was a 1 ounce Troy silver coin to every registered voter in the state of Nevada because he was running for governor. He caused such a run on silver, it spiked up to $40 an ounce. Now, the problem was a lot of people had invested with his company to buy silver until his chief of security called in a local television station and opened their safe to show there was nothing in it.
Yeah.
It was all gone. So it was a scam. I'm not saying silver's a scam. I think silver ultimately will be a good thing. The problem is silver seems to be the red-headed stepchild that gets sent to the basement every time company comes over.
Yeah.
Gold is still the darling. Now they're talking about gold going up to $3,000 an ounce.
They're talking it up now.
They're talking it up. Silver closed last Friday somewhere around $22 to $24 an ounce. There's speculation that it's going to go higher. However, it opened lower Monday. So, unless you really have an understanding of how the market works, and there's we call it a Delta 1, 2, 3, unless you understand the semantics of that, stay the hell out of it. Don't do day trading. find some stock that you think has some future to it, like Nancy Pelosi did.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, she bought into Tesla big time.
Yeah, she bought into Tesla.
That ought to tell you the direction they're headed.
Now get this. Poor Martha Stewart goes to prison. Pelosi gets some advance notice that Biden's going to sign some kind of a contract with Tesla for government cars. So she buys about $1.25 million worth of Tesla stock. And nothing is done. So, unless you can scurry in and out on the borders of this, stay the hell away from it.
Yeah. Hey, look. It's not a fair playing field, everybody. It's not. When they can stop trading, and, there's another entity that's behind there that I'm studying that controls all these transactions. It's I'll get the name of that. We'll talk about it next time I come on. It controls everything that goes on. And so there are other entities that are not, that's a private corporation.
Yep.
So everybody, this is not a fair playing field. Remember what you're playing in. You're playing against the house. And, there were people that are saying, well, there should be people that are going to jail. There should be people that are going to jail. But it's the Wild West for some of those people out there. They can do whatever they want without fear of going to jail.
Poor Martha Stewart just belonged to the wrong country club.
Exactly right. We can call them legal opportunities where, yes, they've created laws and regulations that makes what they're doing legal, or there's no law at all. They're just doing it and can get away with it, is what I'm saying. Well, laws for them, laws for us, everybody.
And if you haven't figured that one out yet, there's no helping you.
And I would say one of the biggest profitable parts of being within government is insider deals, if you know what I'm trying to say here. That's if the algorithm can figure it out.
Right. We talk about, and everyone always says, well, who's going to do something about it? What can we do? When in the hell is the Civil War going to pop loose, this, that, and the other? Well, let me tell you, Civil War is going to be the last-ditch stand.
That's right.
Because that's going to be at an extinction level.
Hey, when enough people lose their jobs, and we've got people in the food lines not in the thousands, in the hundreds of thousands, and we're headed that direction because of the stuff they're doing. We'll see. Can everybody be on the public dole? Can everybody be taking money from government?
Well, it would seem that there's a design. There's a tactic going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is that stupid, particularly when it comes to this federal minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is that stupid anywhere, especially in government, to figure that everyone's going to be able to make $15 an hour.
Yeah.
They know thousands upon thousands of jobs are going to be lost.
Yes, they do.
They know that. I think what their real play here is they want more people dependent on government handout.
There you go.
They're wanting to drive this whole busload of people, that being us, into socialism. And the only way they can do that is to break us down.
Yeah.
Break down our economy. Everyone loses jobs. All these businesses go out. And you know what? Everyone's looking now for that next subsidy check. Everyone talks about that. you know.
Yeah.
And there are very few people out there that are saying, hey, if I get one, I'm going to tear up the check, or I won't spend the money. I'll send it back to the IRS.
They'll run out and buy a new television set.
Come on, come on. In fact, it's been speculated that a hell of a lot of money, a hell of a lot of subsidy money went into the stock market over this GameStop deal.
Yeah.
They've been talking about that incessantly. So, you know, that's what's going on here. Nobody is going to start picking up a rifle and start shooting.
Yeah.
Sure enough, there's enough tinder laying out here now, enough dry tinder that some spark somewhere could ignite this whole thing. But you know what everyone needs to think about? They need to think about what Ted Cruz told us years ago. He said, if you think you can go in and straighten out the federal government right now, you're sadly mistaken. It's lost.
Yeah.
You have to go back to your local level. And that's what everyone needs to be concentrating on right now. It's the long game. Be thinking about 2022. You need to start pestering and bugging and writing all of your congressmen, all of your state representatives. You need to let them know what the hell you want. You want stronger election laws. You don't want mail-in balloting. And some of you need to think about running for school commission positions, county commissioners. You know, start thinking about running for local office, but start supporting the local politicians, start getting to know them, and start talking to them so we can get some kind of control back, or at least get this thing back on the rails in 2022.
2022 starts now. You need to run for office. You need to run for office locally. Get these people out of these damn school boards. Get these people off of these city councils. Get these people out of these state legislatures. Get them out. Whether you think they're good or not. Let's have a change. Let's take a broom out and sweep all the filth out of the room. Is what we need to do. And we have to get ready now. Not next month, not wait for Trump to come out, not wait for any of that stuff. It is up to us. And we'll be explaining this over the days and weeks of what needs to be done. What needs to be done. Because, oh, gee, let me tell you one thing, and just going back for a minute. Of all the schemes and everything else that goes on to grease the hands of the rich, the well-connected, the government entities, the politicians, it's now the fact is that foreign players knows the game. They know the greed. They know how it's played in this country, and they're playing it well at our expense. I could say it in some other words, but I can't do it on this channel. It's as close as I can get you without getting into trouble. And, you know, maybe we'll do a video this week on Rumble where we can let it all out. And we'll send you a link to it. And you'll get that link at Sons of Liberty Riders MC on Facebook, Constitutional Warriors on Facebook. You can get the information there. If it's not there, it'll be at texasbikerradio.org, where we will be posting videos and information you need to know. And you know, we're just proof, oh gee, that bikers are more than just pretty faces. Right, everybody in the chat line? Man. So today we're finding out that the potato head is wanting to transfer $30 billion that was scheduled for the farmers who supply our groceries in this country. They're wanting to transfer that to climate change. Everybody has their own opinion about that, and I got mine, and I'll say it over on Rumble. I'm just saying, everybody. Just keep on. It just keeps on coming. It just keeps on getting better. Do you hear that, the people in the Pentagon? It's what I'm saying. Hey, today we find out the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania, Kathy Bookvar, resigns because of what they called a human error, a terrible mistake. I guess child abuse, a child abuse referendum was supposed to come up in the next vote, but it was not advertised as required by Pennsylvania law.
Oh.
So she's had to resign. Well, what? Just how do you miss that? How do you miss that? What was she busy doing, everybody? I can't say it here. I can tell you what she is busy doing. And I'll tell you at Sons of Liberty Riders MC on Facebook tomorrow. And I'll tell you on some other methods. TexasBikerRadio.org. I'll tell you exactly what they were doing. And it had to do with voting. Can I get away with that?
Thus the reason we're running on more than one platform.
It's exactly the reason we're running on more than one platform.
You know, another thing we ought to bring up is you heard Beto is thinking about tossing his hat in the ring for governor.
Again?
Of the state of Texas.
Well,
Biden's gun czar.
I'm headed to the legislature next weekend over some issues that need to be taken care of here in Texas. Not only our biker issues, but issues about voting.
Amen.
In my opinion, the law needs to be strengthened, is what I think.
Yes, it does.
And so we need to do that en masse, everybody, en masse. And we need to circle the wagons to protect the Constitution. And in the coming days, we're going to tell you what needs to be done to make that happen. Because remember, we are a union of 50 sovereign states. And who's in charge of those sovereign states are the sovereign people that live within those states. And we have the right not to go along. I'm choosing my words.
We have to be careful.
Yeah. We have the right not to go along. We have the right to make our legislators obey the Constitution, including Pennsylvania, including Georgia, including Wisconsin, and any other state that goes outside of the Constitution. Otherwise, we don't have a Constitution. It means nothing if they can just ignore it, is what we're saying. And if you think that's not happening, well, there's nothing we can do to help you. Move on. Move on. It's crazy out there, everybody. It's crazy. Do we need to, you got anything else?
If we're closing, I have a repeat message for our friends.
Let me see how long we've been going here. Yeah, we're close to it. You guys, hey, look, there's a lot more that we want to say that we can't say on this channel. And we may already be in trouble. I don't know. But we got to try and work within their framework here on this channel. And like I said, if anything happens, we'll be over on Rumble. And we would like you to go populate those channels now. On Rumble, it's called TBR News, or TB Radio. I'll post a link below this, and also at Sons of Liberty Riders MC to that. We'd like you to go populate it just in case we get bumped off, and you know where to find us. You know, there's nothing worse than rebuilding, and they know that, and that's the reason they're doing the things they do. Because they have the power to do it. Does that make it right? No, it doesn't.
It's being speculated that people like Zuckerberg, he is probably one of the most, this is frightening, he is probably one of the most powerful people in the Western Hemisphere, if not the world.
See, this is the reason these people like that can buy their way in. They buy their way around, just like, the Gates buys his way into the WHO.
Right.
Who has input. Now, he's not a scientist, not a virologist. He's not an MD. He's not any of that. He's just a guy with a lot of money. You know, I think if I had that money, I could think of all the good things I could do instead of the shit that they do. Trying to control the world, but really it's about making more money is what it's about. That's the same thing with other things that are going on. We'll have to think up some code names for them. But, yeah, you want to follow up on your message here? Listen up, everybody. This is for our friends.
This is for our friends. The duck flies at midnight. I repeat, the duck flies at midnight.
With that, everybody, have a great evening. And I'll be back on soon, maybe on this channel, maybe on Rumble.
You never know where Popeye's going to pop up.
You'll never know. And, we'll be talking about what needs to be done to save the Constitution. Because as of right now, I don't see anybody stepping up. And, the people are going to be tested like never before. Because these people are coming at us. They're coming straight at us. They want to make this irreversible. And you can't buy into that theory. You can't buy into that. Because you can't use, it's in God's hands as an excuse. You can't do that. Because, OG, I think it said in the Bible, you know, that God laid the enemies before the Israelites. And they had to go to war.
God will provide the way. You have to provide the hard work.
There you go. And we don't mean,
He's not going to do it for you.
yeah. It's got to be us that leads the way. Me and you and other sovereign people in sovereign states. We got to make our legislators aware that we are aware. And it's time for the games, the schemes, everything else that's going on. It's time for it to come to a halt. And it's up to us to make that happen. Politicians are never going to vote for term limits. Politicians will tell you, and I've heard them say it, you can term limit me anytime. You can kick me out of office, knowing that the chances of that, the way the system is now, those chances are slim, next to none. You can't have them look down at you and do what they will, regardless of what we say or what we think. We can't let them push this off on us. It's time to rise up and do your due diligence. Put on your thinking hat. Run for office. Even if it's just to get the message out. Have a great evening, a great weekend. Take a deep breath. It's time to ride, everybody. It's time to ride.
Be safe, stay healthy.
Bye-bye.